Welcome everyone to Monday night. Locked up RC. Got a good show lined up tonight. We're going to do some testing on a HeyOK 6-volt relay controller. We're going to test some TF2 prototype shock hoops. We're going to do a giveaway. We're going to check out the, I don't want to say final iteration. We're going to check the progress on our SSD D60s install front and rear on our original SCX10. We're going to check out Jackie's Capra. If you guys haven't been watching that, we'll have that for you. And we will have a Q&A session at the end. Of course, you're always welcome to submit your questions while this is going on. So I guess probably, you know, I'm actually going to change the order of things a little bit here. I'm going to get into the H2, our SCX10. We've got a little bit of a different layout with our camera here tonight, so things are a little different, but hopefully they still work out. First and foremost, the most shocking thing ever, this has actually been washed, which is kind of cool because now maybe you guys can see some of the interior cage. These are actually really nice interiors that come in these H2s. Can't really get these anymore. I know where some are. Anyway, I think I had mentioned something about lights at some point, how this works. Got some contacts in the body here for those of you that are looking for, I guess, neat ways to plug your lights in and not have to jack with a whole bunch of plugs and stuff all the time. 2 spring-loaded contacts on here. But anyway, hey guys, hi Matthew, hi Freddie. So the first thing I guess we're gonna really get into here is the SSD D60s axle install. So the rear goes in, no problems, didn't have any issues there. Everything works as I expected, or doesn't work as I expected. In the front, things are a little bit different. So I don't know what the best way to describe this to you guys is going to be, but when you're setting up a proper 3-link, you want to make sure the drag link and track bar are on the same plane and are the same length. So essentially you want them to be sweeping in the same arc. If they do not sweep in the same arc, you end up with bump steer, which I know you're thinking, hey, that's a 1-to-1 thing. That doesn't matter in my RC. Maybe it doesn't. Or maybe it does, because maybe it means you have floating endpoints, and depending upon your servo and the way you have things set up, you may end up beating your servo up. So nobody wants that. So the things to remember with a 3-link are you want your drag link and track bar to be the exact same length, and you want them to be on the same angle. So when you compress or drop or whatever, you want them both to move the exact same way. Now, what we've got here, I pulled some random parts while I was getting this set up. I've got one of our max clearance SCX10 2 track bars for this SSD D60s axle on the front, and some random linkage with some spacers that I had, because this is all a test set up for me right now. Once I get everything dialed in, I will finish that out. But the problem that I have run into is that, as you can see, they are, maybe you can't see, hard to see. They're not, my drag link and track bar are not exactly operating in the same plane, right? So we wanna fix that. There will be a little bit of movement as I cycle the suspension. Maybe hard to see. What's the best way for me to let you guys see this? So you want to watch this knuckle and watch it go like this as I cycle the suspension. I mean, it's super minimal, but I'm a perfectionist. So that's something we need to take care of. The reason for that is because the old track bar mount that I had on here was completely custom. This axle isn't really meant to necessarily go with the 3-link kit that's on here, which is one of the really old Hand Brothers kits. So we're going to have to kind of figure some stuff out, make some changes, maybe make some parts. The other and possibly more glaring issue, because the bump steer that's in here is not earth-shattering. I could probably trim the endpoints in enough that it wouldn't be that big a deal, but I like to have massive amounts of steering throw. And that's something that you probably definitely can see. Let's see. What's the best way to have you guys be able to see this? My servo arm. How about we play with the camera that we have, right? So my servo arm, as you can see with the steering fairly straight, the servo arm is angled way over, right? I'm hoping that that red is showing up in there for you guys to see, right? So why is that? Why is that happening? Well, the reason that that is happening is because the track bar mount on here doesn't really go with the Hand Brothers kit in the way that I would want it to. Now, my axle is also not perfectly centered, right? So at full extension, you can kind of see, you know what, let me get myself out of the picture here so you guys can see that. At full extension, you can kind of see the shock, so the passenger side shock, straight up and down. The driver's side is angling that way, right? So the whole thing is really off center. So ideally, what I could do is figure out a way to move this mount on the Hand Brothers, right? Well, but the Hand Brothers kit is not at all modifiable. There's no adjustability in it, nothing like that. So I think what I'm going to end up having to do with this is install one of our Pro CMS kits, and I think what I actually will end up running is going to be one of our SCX10 2 track bar drop mounts. And the reason being that hopefully this will come out in the camera. It's kind of hard to see, but oh, I want some light in there. Hard to see down here, but this mount will actually move this track bar mounting point that way. And when that moves that way, it will pull my servo arm over also with everything lined up. So that's going to be a project for another night, but I just wanted to catch you guys up on this. I mean, the axle looks good. You know, it looks great compared to what was in there before, right? These are really nice axles. It's a shame you can't get them anymore. I actually scored another set to put on one of my other trucks. Hey, Eric. Oh, hey, Leon. So this will require a little bit more tweaking. As you can see, hopefully, I've got it so that things are clearing pretty well in here. The other potential benefit, I think, to running this mount will be that we may get a little bit more clearance back here, but we'll just have to see how it works out. I don't know exactly what's going to happen because sometimes things line up slightly differently than I think they're going to. But we'll see. What's up, Brad? So anyway, that's where we are with the SSD D60s axle install on the OG SCX10. That's a lot of letters. There should be an easier way to describe all of this, I feel like. Now, the next thing on the list that I have lined up, I don't know why I'm talking in choppy sentences. It doesn't really make any sense. Do you guys like the yellow shirt? Let me know if you like the yellow shirt. We don't actually sell these, but, you know, I think I gave away a shirt last week because we had some, I'll call them test items that we got in. This was one of them. I don't know, kind of like the yellow, but maybe it makes me, I don't know. It certainly doesn't make me look tan, but nothing does. So for spray on tan. So for our TF2, we've got a couple of different things. So I went ahead and bit the bullet, and I picked up some shocks that I think might work for our TF2. Let me back this out a little bit because we're gonna be pulling the TF2 in here. I got some different shocks that I think will work, and I also got silly on Shapeways, and I made some prototype shock mounts that, if these work out and you guys are interested in them, we can roll these into production. So, whoa, hey, let me just drop one. That's always good for it. I'm back. Should I have gone to the technical difficulties thing when I have to go under the counter? I don't know. So anyway, these are our 2 different prototypes. I just did 2 different heights. So I have not test fit these on the TF2 at all. I need to find the TF2. I think I need to go get it off the shelf. Once again, without Eric here, the planning just goes out the window. What are you guys up to tonight? Let me know. I like it when you guys leave comments. It gives me something to read. Instead of just me jibber-jabbering. Jibber-jabbing? Jibber-jabbering? Jibber-jab. I have to look that up. If anyone knows the... You know what? No. We're just going to pass on that. So let's see. Where do we start with this guy? We start by very carefully, so gently, removing the body. I thought I had screwed the body down. Otherwise, I wouldn't have flipped it over. So... good times. We'll just sit this over here. Somewhat out of the way. Oh, I moved all my tools way out of the way. I blame Jackie. It's her fault. She's building that Capra. She's got stuff all over the place. She doesn't even watch these. People. Okay, so front end. What do we got? So let's see. The shocks that were on there. Man, it's been so long since we touched this. I can't remember how long they were. Luckily, we can figure that out. I just keep grabbing the wrong tool. And then I knocked that over. I probably should sticky... You know, I keep telling myself I'm going to sticky those down, but then every time I'm about to do it, I end up wanting to move them for some reason. First world problems. Don't know if I should... tie down my... Oh, there we go. See, now I need to get... I keep saying these things. Somebody needs to remind me when I'm not videoing that I want another magnetic mat up here. Because someone is using mine to build her Capra back there. It's not right. Let's see. Tool. That's... I meant I was reaching for a tool. I wasn't calling anyone a tool. Just so we're all clear. Actually, move these way over here. Yeah, better. Obviously, a lot of rehearsal goes into making these videos. I have these well planned out, super far in advance. Oh my, let's see. I don't have any dad jokes prepared for tonight, so if you're tuning in just for the dad jokes, I got nothing. Got like a really... No, I'm not even going to try. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. So let's see. I guess... Well, that's actually really going to outboard the shock a lot. Way further than I anticipated. What was I thinking? Why did I do that? Did I do that because of the body? I don't remember. Perhaps I should actually outboard it so you can see the angle on there. I outboarded it a lot. Sometimes, you know, things. I almost wonder if I should have... These are our 2 different options. I almost wonder if I should have outboarded these and then turned... Well, no, because then it would hit the frame. Yeah, I probably just need to not angle it quite so much. But I feel like I did that for a reason. That's the problem with putting a truck down and then not touching it for a couple of weeks. Can't remember things. I don't even know if these are actually going to line up with the holes, although I suspect that the Shapeways plastic is going to be... Did I just lose a screw? Son of a biscuit. I suspect that the Shapeways plastic will be bendy enough that I can force it home. There's that screw. Okay, so we're actually gonna do something now instead of just dropping stuff, picking it up, walking around the shop. Hey, one fits, right? Oh yeah, that's way too outboarded. What was I smoking? You guys have got to watch me. At least we've got the eye-to-eye measurement correct. super tall. That actually might work for these shocks, but it is definitely way too far outboard. Actually, I say that, it's not terrible, but it is too much. So probably what I should have done, yeah, these will actually be better, although they're not as tall. I guess I should show you guys that, right? Show you guys how off my brain was. So look how far outboard that is. So it looks insanely outboard, but when you actually put the shock in there, it's not terrible, but it's too much, you know. Although, yeah, we'll have to get to... I'm now remembering that we're going to have to clearance the inside of the body. That's going to be fun. Clearance the inside of the body, I mean the wheel wells. Because when they were constructed a little, I don't know, they take up a lot of space. The wheel well, fender liner, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So let's see. So I think these black ones were the ones that I actually figured would fit correctly. If you're a fan of Alice in Wonderland. That's right, I just pulled out an old school Alice in Wonderland reference. Deal with that. So let's see. This will be a little better in terms of not being so far outboard. Still a little more than I want though. So not egregious, but a bit much. So let's see, we probably need to take how many mils off of that? How far out are we? Yep, that's right, I'm eyeballing it. I'm putting it at 7.5. Need to write that down somewhere. Where'd my bag go? There we go. So, but the point of testing these is so that we can, you know, see what changes need to be made. And obviously that's why I had it made on Shapeways. Just because I wanted to mess with it. Because I like messing with things. The other thing I want to test, so I think, so if you look at it, the mounting hole on these is a little bit, put something in there with some contrast, is a little bit lower than the other shock tower, which is what I was planning on. These shock towers kind of get up into the underside of the hood battery area. As you can see, these wheel wells, like I said, the inner wheel well part, I notched it just to get these other tall ones on there, but more notching I think would be required to actually get the body to sit down all the way. I don't really want to get notchy with it. So let's see. Where did my screw go? Aha. So we had, you know what? Now I remember why I wanted the top to sit out. The spring on this side was hitting because of, well, maybe not necessarily just because of the shocks, but the TF2 comes with these, which are super, super narrow. Whoever, because this was a secondhand truck, put these shocks on, and we don't know what type of shocks they are just so much bigger. They run into the spring catches on the screw head that is inside the shock hoop area. So having this outboard a little bit is going to be okay, but still, it's a little more than I probably needed. I may need, oh no, actually that might work out. Let's see. So down here we've got our little spacer. Get all of this back in, hopefully without too much issue. I say that and we all know that this is going to jump out of my hands and everything's going to fly across the workbench. Or not. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Haven't gotten it in yet, but close. Nope. Woo! Talented. That's why I get paid the big bucks. So obviously, you know, why did I put that shock on there? What am I thinking? Oh man, I forgot that I wanted to try these out. Guys, still, is nobody commenting, or did I just go offline? I don't see comments rolling up. What are you guys up to tonight? Talk to me. Let me know what's going on. How your day was, your weekend. I want to know these things. I've never used these shocks before. If anybody has experience with them, chime in, let me know. Just curious. Let's see, got a little ball to install here. Welcome, Josh. Well, that seems to be loose. Are they supposed to be loose? Is there something that I don't know? Or was this machined incorrectly? Let's open the other one and see. No, they both look to be machined the same way. So, I don't know if you guys can see in here, but there is a lip. Did I get too close? Yeah, it won't focus that close. Well, I wanted it to focus, but I guess that's too close. Come on, camera. Help me out here. There is a little lip inside of here on one side that prevents the ball from going through all the way. And it does a pretty good job, but on this side, it's not a whole lot there. So that is not really what I would have anticipated. Now I know it's a metal cap. Also got these extra balls and an extra end. Okay, that makes sense. I'm just kind of curious to know why this would be that loose, but that may just be because, hey, you know, I feel like the RC4WD drive shocks or rod ends, I guess, see that kind of popped in. Okay, so that popped in and it's a little bit tighter, but it's still kind of loose. I don't know what the dealio is. That one's just loose. That does not seem like it's gonna be what I want, because then it's just gonna be moving around the whole time. If there was some sort of little collar that I could press in there that would make it fit, you know, make it a tighter fit, that would be better. The bottom's fine. Bottom's fine. It's just this top ball, you know, is not what I would have chosen had I known. What can you do, right? At least we've got the length that we can check. What were these? These were 90s. I'm going to measure it, and here's the, yeah, 90s. So, what can you do? Part of all of this is testing different things to see what does and doesn't work. That could just be a machining blem, or maybe that's just how they are. Now I've got parts all over the place. That's what I like, just a big mess. What's up, Dion? Let's see, so let's get this bottom back in first. And I think I probably, well, may not need the standoff. We'll see. It's probably hard for you guys to see what's going on here. So this is the shock that was on there. There was a standoff. Balls look like they're the same length, but Yeah, I guess I probably need it. Curses! Monkeying around with these little standoffs make you crazy. See? There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Give you guys a good shot of my arm hair there, right? Woohoo! Also, a lovely shot of the slice on my finger that I did earlier. And I'm telling you, I can't not touch everything with this thing. It's not like it really hurts. I mean, it bled and then it stopped or whatever. It's just, it's more humorous that everything I touch, apparently I am using that finger only because there's a cut on it. I don't know. I guess I could have compared the length on these. So these are indeed a little bit shorter. I think we said they should be about 10 millimeters shorter, which we can verify. Yeah, it's 10. So, and did the ball fall out of this thing? Or no, wait, there it is. How many of these things do I... Okay, yeah. I'm losing my mind. I'm just surprised that there's got to be a better way to get the balls. Oh. Nope. So this is intended to be loose, but one of the things with shapeways, you know, if you make a hole and you call it out to be 3.05 millimeters, sometimes it's 2.85. So you end up threading things in. Not a big deal, as long as I get it back through the back hole. Yep. So, since we are just testing, it looks like my shocks have actually added a wee bit of lift. It's probably hard for you guys to see from that angle, but let's see if we can show you guys. So yeah, I mean, it's you know, this side is sitting up a hair. Try to get it lined up as best as I can, but you know, so with the shorter shock that's only 10 millimeters shorter and the prototype shock hoop that we put on here, we've given ourselves a tad bit of lift, which I don't really want, but you know, it cycles. I mean, honestly, I say that these things are outboarded too far. It just doesn't look straight up and down. I know, you know, if you're OCD, you probably want that. I'm OCD, so that's what I want. But, you know, as far as mounting up and all of that stuff, it all seems like it's okay. But again, I think if I was to redesign these, and I probably will, I would probably pull this in a little bit. The side that I really want to check out, I guess, is the other side. So I will probably put the other one on the other side as well. Whee! Squishy sound. I don't know if you guys can hear that. There you go. For those of you that like that squishy sound. Now we've got comments. Hey Dion, yep. I've got some SSD shocks. These are the 90 mils. Good shot of my elbow. Pro scale 90 millimeter shocks, silver blue. That's what's on there. Those are some of my prototype shock hoops. These hoops are taller than I want. I really almost think I could run an 80 millimeter shock. It would sit down a little bit, and I don't mind Yeah. So I guess my options are either I can make this hoop just a little bit taller, and I'll have to check to see how everything fits with the body. But if I make it just a little bit taller, I'll still be hopefully shorter than this. And I believe we had some gangster lean going on with the body on top of the chassis. But I'm going to slap it on there and we're going to see what it looks like. I can't remember. It's been too long. I don't know who I can blame for that, but I'll blame someone, because I am not to blame for anything, ever. Never. I'm going to have to lower the camera again so you guys can see that, but I also have to reach over and get this thing. So let's see. Let's see how we sit now. Not too bad. Trying to get the camera to actually be level. Not always easy. So, if I back this up all the way, maybe that'll make it more visible. So you can see it looks like somebody started to install a lift up front and forgot to do the rear. But I don't really mind too much the spacing up here. So I probably could actually just lift. Yeah, you know what? I may actually just lift the rear a hair. Let's see what happens. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't mind a little bit, Jake, of lean like that. I don't mind a little bit. I actually usually, I think in my head I prefer it versus the cowboy lean. I think is the reverse. That's what we call it here in Texas, cowboy lean. Back of your pickup truck sitting up really high. But I think I kind of really would prefer it to be almost completely level, maybe just a hair bit of altitude more in the front. So like something like that. So it's not a huge difference. I'm sure I can bust out some sort of lift kit for the TF2 in the rear, right? Yeah. Whee! One day we'll be fancy enough to actually have like a remote control camera. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my, I forgot to let you guys look at me. I know that's why you're all here, so sorry. Let's see, what do we got? Comments. Hey Dion, this is a Blazer body that Wes Bracewell built for me. That is actually the Catalina Blue. It is the closest I could get. Well, I say closest. That is the official GM paint match color for the 76 K5 Blazer I first got when I was a kid, that I bought with money from mowing lawns. It was nice. Yeah. That's okay. Swap to GCM. I'll have to look at those chassis. I think for now with this truck, I kind of want to just keep it as much TF2 as I can. I try to do that with my trucks that I'm not competing with. That way, if people have questions, I can bust out a truck that will give me, I guess, an accurate view of whatever it is they're asking about. Am I going to be putting a scale engine in? I don't know, man. Do you have one you want to send me? I had not planned on it. When Wes built this truck, he built this battery tray in here. So when I pop the hood, I can access my battery, held down by magnets. It's a very tight fit, and I usually have to get a credit card or something in here, but let's see if I can get my nail in there. Oh, there we go. So I basically got, you know, a spot for electronics and or a battery. We'll see. So putting a scale engine in it when it's going to be covered, probably, you know, I wouldn't make a lot of sense. But I've seen those scale engines. They're nice. Can you see the body again? Yeah, absolutely. So the only, I don't want to say the only flaw. There are some flaws to it, but hey, it's a 76K5 Blazer, so it's going to be imperfect. Wes did a great job painting it. I'm sure the small little imperfections in the clear coat, I think it just got laid on a little thick. You know, Wes is used to RC paints and stuff like that. And this is actual GM automotive whatever paint, so it's a little bit tougher to probably get it perfect. But there are just a couple of spots where the clear coat has cracked. But you know what? It's really beautiful. The interior is where he just outdid himself. It is very, very nice. I wish I had a brighter light that I could shine in there so that you guys could see everything that's going on. Oh, that doesn't open all the way. But anyway, the top comes off, so I guess I don't need a brighter light. But yeah, he really outdid himself with this interior. He used some foam to replicate the carpet and everything that I had in there. And mine had some black vinyl floor mats also. Good times. So, that is our TF2 K5 Blazer. Can you talk about your camera setup for live? Sure, I can talk about my camera setup for live. If you've got questions, ask them. It's basically a camera that's set up for live. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm happy to help other people that want to do stuff. There is a lot that can go into all of this live streaming stuff, and yeah, it can be complicated. Let me get back through comments. Easy way to open it is slide the hood forward from the cowl and then lift. Gotcha. I will have to check that out. Dash needs to be raised. Message me after and I'll help you out. I didn't even notice that. Let's see. Yeah, the dash probably could be raised up a little bit, but I mean, this truck is not meant for competition, so it is not my, you know, I'm not planning on winning any concourse awards with this, but he did a good job. Let's see, the dash. Yeah, Dion, if you have ways to raise the dash, I'm yours. I mean, how hard can it be? No, I know it could be really hard, so, but I am happy to improve it. I do love the truck. So let's see. So we're back to this. I think what I'm gonna do for now. Oh, right. Haha. I want to install the shock hoop on this side so that I can check to see clearance, because again, I'm trying to avoid running into the screw and the, I think we had, yeah. So when this gets full droop, you can see the shock shaft is kind of bending inside the body. Well, it's not bending, but there's some bend going on. And that's what we want to avoid with the outboarded shock hoops. Let's see. And where did the other one go? Where did the other gray one go? Parts everywhere. There it is. Way over there. Woo. Let's see. That can go there. I don't have my nice magnetic mat, so I just have to make a little pile. It's not good having to make piles. This is going to go in. This is my spare parts pile. Garbage pile. Good times. Okay, so let's pull this out. I guess I can probably go back down to this, huh? Woohoo! More spacers. Did I miss any comments? Let me see. Just double check. Dash needs to be raised. Message me after. I'll help out. Should bring it out to UST in Florida in February. I've never been to USTE. Somebody send me some info. I actually want to get out to more events this year. I've been slacking. There is something about having kids in the house that makes me not want to miss things that they do, you know? So it's like any weekend that I can do something with them, I want to. but at the same time, I've been slacking on living my own life. So probably need to find a better balance, but I blame myself. You know, kids don't make me stay home. Of course, I guess, you know, it's partly because I know that at a certain point, and we're already kind of close to that with one of them. Actually, no, we're basically there with one of them. Hanging out with the parents is no longer cool or fun, and now it's just all about the friends. So we have reached that sad moment. How did this screw get stuck in here? I need the screw. There we go. Must have Hulk smash tightened it down. What size tires? These are just the mud thrashers on some of our 155s. The 3.7 inch. I don't know if they have multiple other sizes of those or not. What you have not heard about Ultimate Scale Truck Expo? Oh, I'm not good with acronyms. There's too many of them. I say that, but I've never been to it. I have heard of it. I've never been to it. I would like to get out and do more things this year. So this will actually be a good time for me to show you guys kind of what I was talking about with the screw. So we were catching on this screw that rests between the shock tower legs. I don't know. So I think one thing I can do to help with that would be to replace that with a flat head and then countersink it into the chassis. But I didn't, because I think sometimes it's more fun to design ridiculous shock hoops and do other things. Okay, yeah, I will search for that on Facebook. February, let's see, I'll have to check. So usually for me, doing anything between November and December is out because it's shopping season. And I am usually ungodly slammed and happy about it, but very busy. February, we start to get near tax return month. And depending upon how things go, what we have to release, all of that, and I'm actually planning on us having, next year is going to be, we're going to have a lot of stuff. We'll have to see if I can fit it in. Is it just a weekend? If it is, that's probably going to be more doable than if it's a long time. I have not put a nut on over here. Don't let me forget that. Because we're just, I say I'm just test fitting these. But they will stay on until I redesign them, and Shapeways sends me version 2. Nope, that's too big. Oh man. Let's see. Oh, you know, I think I completely jumped out of order. I wasn't even supposed to do the TF2 next. I was supposed to do that HeyOK controller. I feel like that thing's gonna work. It just wasn't working because I was giving it too much voltage. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those controllers, but I think in the past I had one that acted like it was not working, and as soon as I gave it the correct amount of voltage, it magically started working. So I think one thing I could do with these shocks is on the side of the ball where it's popping out, because I will now have a double shear shock mount. Could probably just put some fuel tubing to, you know, keep it somewhat centered. But we'll see. So this is basically, I'm trying to think of what this is reminding me of. Some sort of like off-road VW bug or something. I don't know. Off-road. Yeah, they look like they stick out more than they do, and they actually, let's see, so my axle must not be perfectly centered either. But I'm sure as we compress, yeah, there we go. So they're not off too bad. I think I still would pull it in a little bit. I definitely have all of the clearance that I could possibly want. Oh yeah, we've got lots of space over here now. Hopefully you guys can see that. I wish I had like a miner's light. Because I know sometimes the lighting in here, it's like everything I want you guys to see is hidden by the light. Or by shadows. Hidden by the light. Not blinded by it, just hidden. So, that's where we are with this for now. I forgot to look when I had the body sitting on there. Let's see what my clearance is like. Anyone that knows me is going to be like, are you really putting a towel down to protect the roof of your... Yes, I want to keep this one nice. Until I get to drive it and destroy it. Then it can be scratched. And I'll be okay with that. But I don't want premature scratching. Can't have that. So let's see. So those towers actually fit. Everything fits in between. I do want to extend... Not sure if you guys can see that, but I do want to extend. Let's see, can I pull this over, or is that going to be in the picture? Just trying to mess with lighting here. So these wheel wells, hopefully you can see them now, right? I need to, I may actually just take them off and put some plates along the side of the chassis. I don't like not being able to see the top of the shocks. It doesn't look, it's not scale. Can't have that. Put my light back. But anyway, so that's where we are with the TF2. Guys, let me know what you think. If you've got a TF2, if you'd be interested in some of those shock hoops. Obviously, they would be machined out of aluminum and not Shapeways plastic, because I don't feel like that would be a good part to have made out of Shapeways plant-based incredible plastic meat. I don't know. They got like the plant-based. Do you guys get where I'm going with that? Somebody help me. Save me. Save me from myself. It's in Williston, Florida, February 21st to 23rd. I don't know where Williston, Florida is. I've been all over Florida because I'm from New Orleans, and it's fairly close, but I'll have to check it out Friday to Sunday. Let's see, what size shocks are you using? Nuz, those are the SSD 90mm. Did I throw that away? No, here we are. This is what we just put in there. Pro scale 90mm shocks, silver/blue. I've never used them before, so I just figured we'd give them a shot. You wonder how it would work with leaves up front. It had leaves on it. We actually, one of our first live streams that I did was installing our 3-link kit on this axle. And I think I mentioned it in that video. I originally, my first true off-road vehicle, well, I say that, I had a 76 K5 Blazer, but I didn't really take it off-road because I grew up in New Orleans, and I mean, I took it off-road, but it's all mud. So my actual first articulating suspension was what year was that? A 2000 Jeep Cherokee. So I kind of got used to having a leaf spring rear axle and coils up front, and I kind of wanted to combine my two first loves, because I loved my 76 Blazer, but I never got to wheel it, and I loved my Jeep Cherokee, which I did wheel. So this is kind of a mixture of things for me. So that's why I went with leafs and coils. Hopefully that makes sense to some of you. Let's see. So we're done with the TF2, I think, for tonight. I'm going to throw all these parts in my TF2 parts box that I've going over here that you guys can't see. It's a fantastically fancy box. I'm going to put the chassis back in the body. Hey, help me out here. Just so that I can get all of this back up on the shelf without too many problems. Is it sitting down flat? When are we catching one? Oh, I see what's happening. I'm now remembering I still have to go back and fix some things with the leaf springs, but that will be a different day. So what's next? Next on the list, we've got, you know what, I'm gonna change, since I'm going off of the schedule, and since I'm picking up random vehicles, I just wanted to show you guys, not 100% done. We still have to do a little bit of wiring, but this is Jackie's Capra. I did not build this truck. Jackie built it, painted it, and went crazy with the stickers. I tend to be a less stickery kind of guy, but it's okay. She put them everywhere, including that one. So she had a good time doing it. You guys will have to let us know what you'd like to see her build next. For those of you that don't know, Jackie is our, well, I can't say she's our zero experience employee anymore because she put this together, but this was the first RC thing that she touched other than parts in our warehouse. So if you guys have other things you'd like to see, we'll still call her a novice, build, let me know. We'll see what we can do for her. At the same time, let's see. I look forward to seeing her drive this, and I look forward to driving it myself. I think the next thing we can do is the HeyOK controller. Let's see where it is. Oh my, we've got a pile of wires and stuff over here. It's electrical time. Woohoo! I think I say woohoo too much tonight. I don't know. Maybe I had too many Reese's peanut butter cups and I've got like chocolate sugar energy. So let's see. What's the best way for me to test this thing? So for those of you that don't know, this controller was in our TRX4 and was not functioning. But I'm not sure why it wasn't functioning. I don't know if it actually died. It's a 6-volt controller. I think we were running too many volts to it, and I think that either fried it or, you know, I may have changed the voltage and put a BEC in there and then not used it for a long time, and then when I went to use it, it stopped. So this says 7.4 on it, but I actually adjusted it to 6, so we will pull out the multimeter, verify that. This is my power supply when I don't feel like having a battery. I've got a little AC adapter. This is a 12 volt. The Deans on the end, because sometimes I just like to have things plugged in when I'm testing stuff. If you don't have something like that and you want it, absolutely go get yourself like your Goodwill, your local Goodwill. If you've got those, something like that, they're gonna have a ton of those things. You can also look on Amazon and buy the voltage, can't talk, adjustable voltage adapters. But to get all of this going, we are also going to need a truck. So let's see. I guess since this came out of the TRX4, that's probably the most reasonable truck to grab for this. And I need a truck because my other receiver ended up going in Jackie's Capra because we ran into some bugs with the receiver that came with the truck. Not with the truck, with the radio, but we got some troubleshooting to do. It's a whole series. You can go check it out. I think we're up to episode 8 so far. They're usually about 2 hours, so definitely plenty to keep you entertained if you feel like just sitting on the couch and binge watching some YouTube. Let's see. So, I've got my, whew, this truck is heavy. I forget how heavy it is. got to pull. So the receiver that, the relay controller that I put in there works just fine. I believe it is a higher voltage. I think it is, I can't remember if it's like 9 volts. I don't remember what the different options are, but there's a lot of them. Or maybe not a lot. There's enough. It's all you need. Max voltage is 6 volts, yeah. So let's see. So this one is set to 7.4. So do I not have anything plugged into channel 3? Where do I have my winch plugged in? Does this actually work? These questions and more answered next time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going anywhere. I just like saying that. Woo! Got a limbo under the camera. Probably need to get my radio. It's usually a good idea to have your radio before you turn your truck on. Alright? Because, you know, you don't want it to get squirrely and jump off the desk, workbench, whatever. Probably need to put a battery in the radio. Yep, because guess where my battery went? Jackie stole it! She keeps taking all my stuff, man. She's killing me. Luckily I've got one. Hopefully it's charged. If not, I'm going to have to steal her radio. No, I won't. I'll just take the battery out of her radio. It's nice to have spare stuff sometimes. Okay, so we're going to power on our radio. We've got some lights, so it should be good. So now I need to figure out what channel I had. You know, this thing has so many different channels. I can't remember. Don't want to lose that. I can't remember which channel I had the winch on. I can't even remember which button it is. I feel like I would have put it on DT4. So that's channel 3, so that'll work. So what do I have this plugged into? Do I not have it plugged in? Do I have it plugged? Yep, I don't have it plugged in. Haha! It's like I knew I was going to come back and test this other controller, so I purposely left it unplugged. Man, I'm so smart. Maybe. Sometimes. Let's see. So, try to figure out the best way. It's a tight fit. And this, oh, my receiver is just the case coming apart. So when I was having problems with this truck, I actually pulled the receiver apart because I had to dry it. Because surprise, surprise, the waterproof box is, I'll call it water resistant, but it's definitely not waterproof. Which I kind of figured, but I wanted to test it, so I submarined the truck several times. Let's see. All right, so we've got some stuff happening. I'm going to leave the ESC off. So I've got power. Let's see, because the relay is going to pick its power out of, I guess I need to do this too. Totally unplug this relay, the good one. Keep everything separate. I had hot glued this down, but it did not stay, so we'll have to find another solution to that. Let's see. All these plugs, sometimes it's a bit much. Okay, so that is back alive. This is our 6 volt. I forgot to verify voltage on my multimeter. Oh, let's see. Interesting how the plug wires change. I don't know. I don't know who did their plug wrong. It wasn't me. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so everything is plugged in. So in theory, if this is truly outputting 6 volts, oh, you know what? We've got, wait a second, let me see. What am I thinking here? Gotta unplug this BEC, right? So that should kill it. Yeah, and I don't even need the ESC plugged in. What I do need plugged in, whew, this is gonna be a long train of adapters and plugs and stuff. If it's hard for you to follow what all the wiring and everything is doing, I understand. I still forgot to check the voltage on this. Man, what's wrong with me? Multimeter. Suggested tool for anyone that does not have one. Although I did program this with a Castle link, sometimes things don't take, and I like to check them. 5.99. I guess you guys can't see that. I'm just saving all the fun stuff for myself. So, 6 volts. We are good. So, back to figuring out. This is going to be a really short test because either it's going to work or it's not. Haha! It freaking works. I knew it. So, as I had promised, I think whenever I first ran into this problem, I had said, hey, if it works, I already wrote a big ugly 6 on it, and I already used it, so it's not like I can really sell it. I don't want to run 2 of them, and since I already have another one in my truck, I've got an extra 6-volt relay controller. So, that can stay out. You know what, I'm not going to try to do 2 things at once here because I'm going to just confuse myself and make a mistake. So I'm going to just get the power removed from that so we're safe. I can turn off my radio now. Set that aside. Which can, I can immediately transition to the next thing on our schedule, which was a giveaway. So the giveaway tonight is going to be this HeyOK 6-volt controller that we just verified works fine. So if you would like to win this controller, what do you have to do? You need to you need to lock your front door because people are coming now. You need to like our Facebook page and share this video on Facebook. You can share it anywhere that you want within Facebook. That's the only way that we know you shared it. Please, if you're going to share it to a group, share it to one that is somewhat related to RC crawling. It could be another RC group, drifters, whatever. I don't know that they would care to see what we've done tonight. Maybe. I don't know. But if you share everything, next Monday I will go through all of the people that shared the video and pick one. And then I will double check to make sure that they actually liked our Facebook page. And whoever that person is will win this very controller. So, what do we got now? That's the giveaway portion concluded. I want to get one of those, like, you know, I don't know, like the clacky things that they do with television. No, movies. Maybe they do it for television. I don't know. Take one. It'd make it a whole lot easier for me to edit videos after the fact if I could just have one of those so that I'd know, hey, whenever you say something stupid, just hold that thing up, clack it, and then I'll know to go back and edit it. Let's see. Whew, so many things going into this receiver. Okay, so everything is now plugged back in. Our waterproof box. It's not really waterproof. But that's okay. It is water resistant, and honestly, I don't really need to be submarining this thing. I just enjoy it. I do need to go back and glue this down again. I really thought the hot glue would stick to the liquid electrical tape that Al just, you know, encases these things in, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Let's see. Everything is back in here. We need this if we want it to be water resistant. And this should complete the process. Let's set that aside. Where is my tool? There we go. So that brings us to the end of everything that I had on the schedule. Let's see where we are on time. Exactly an hour. Okay, no, not exactly. Pretty close to exactly an hour. I actually thought that all of this would take longer. Q&A is the last thing that I kind of had planned. I don't know if you guys have any questions. Actually, somebody had some questions. about, I guess, our camera setup and everything. I can go into that if you guys want to hear about it, or if you have other things that are more RC related or whatever. I'm open to your questions. Where is, let's see, this is back together, this is back. I'm gonna just sit this aside because I will glue that down later. Check comments really quickly. Shugu, yeah. I thought hot glue would work. I actually probably could have just put another glob of liquid electrical tape on there and smashed it down, but I didn't. That's okay. So that should take care of that. These things need to be put away. I can have some water now. I did much better tonight about not needing as much water. But it is so good. Delicious. Let's see. So where was it? Who was I talking to? Facebook, search results, not heard. I'm just going back up through the comments to make sure I didn't miss anything. So Josh Rogers, you were asking about the camera setup. So, oh, thank you for the message, Dion. So Josh, the camera setup that I have two different webcams. So one is up here facing me, all that. I have another one up here on a boom swing arm that you can kind of see from this camera, but this is my second camera right here. The way that I have everything kind of configured in the room, I have the lighting behind me really dark on purpose. It kind of hides the camera a little bit, which I like because it can be kind of distracting if somebody sees, you know, imagine I have a big, because it's on this side, a big white thing right here dangling. It would be a little bit distracting, but not too bad. It's probably easier to see if I do the full-size picture of me. Yay, me! I don't know if you guys can see that. Can I reflect light on it? There it is. All right, there we go. There you go. Now you can see it. So it's pretty well hidden, which is what I like. So this camera basically hits our workbench. It's on a boom swing arm, so I can move it around to zoom in on things and stuff like that. As you can see right now, there's a little bit of jiggle in there because if I do hit it, it will swing around. Eventually, it will stabilize itself. It's not a perfect system. This was done on a budget. The other thing you may actually be able to see from this camera is I've got our mic right there behind a pop filter. The mic, I think, is one of the biggest things you kind of need to investigate when you're doing this stuff. The first mic that I had was a great compressor mic, incredibly sensitive. But if you go back and watch the first live stream that I did, you can hear the blood going through my veins. And it was too much for me. We've got single pane windows in here, and you could hear some things from outside. It was super frustrating. One of the other things you may have noticed is I do have some acoustic foam up. It doesn't dampen sound, but it cuts down reverb and things like that. So it was just another thing that I could try to do to make the sound a little bit better. There are some great videos on YouTube that you can watch about doing podcasts and all of that stuff that will be able to give you just a ton of information. But to get started and get set up, you can get a reasonable mic, one webcam, and you're in good shape to start. The software that I use is called OBS. It allows you to do a whole lot of stuff that I haven't even investigated all of it. I look into things every now and then. I can share two different cameras in different ways. I can move the cameras around. You know, run the intro, all of that stuff, just with button clicks, mouse clicks. You can do hotkeys, all of that stuff. So it's a nice setup for what it is. I'm not going to make $1 million doing this, so I didn't want to go overboard with dual mics and, you know, fully soundproofing the room. And I mean, some of the padded setups that people have are great for acoustics, but to have a workbench, you just, you know, I can't have everything on top of foam. It would get really gross with all the grease and everything that comes out of the trucks. So anyway, I hope that helps answer your questions. Does anybody else have anything else they want to know? Let me know, and I will do my best to get that answered next week. Let's see. All you guys talking about UTSE, I will definitely go Did I get the acronym right? I get hit in the head a lot. It's been a while though. I'll definitely go check that out because I do want to start making it to more events, like I said. So hopefully I'll get to see some of you guys. Dion, if you have not shipped my axles yet, let me know. I still want them, but I guess if you haven't shipped them, just get out there and do it. I think that's going to wrap it up for me. I don't see any other new comments. I know there's a little bit of lag between when I talk and when things show up on the screen. So I'll drink some water in case anybody has a comment or something they desperately want to sneak in at the last second. Didn't see Sean tonight. I hope he's okay up there in Canada. I'll have to run back through the comments. Yeah, never saw him join. Oh, Paul joined. I missed it. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope some of this was informative, and I will plan on seeing you guys next week. Thanks.